Welcome back, Ascension family. I'm sharing channeled messages from my book, The Chosen One. In this second chapter are all stories about my past life healings. Past lives are your personal travel diary. You're transcending an interpersonal time machine, allowing the human experience to cooperate with genetic, karmic, and soul purpose. It always works in relationship with your biological and environmental dynamics to further enhance and create the experience. It's opportunistic and perfect. It is God's will of life. It is perfection and ongoing. The connection and lives are infinite. The words, the wisdom, the experiences contained within this book carry a frequency of light, which is inherent to its source. It is but subtle, very powerful vibration of love, which will help you to eliminate what you no longer wish to create in your life. It does not matter from where you've come, whether you are male, female, young or old, rich or poor. These elements are merely the exterior dynamics of a much higher, richer, wiser being who is really you. This story is titled Raja and His Sons. How does a spiritual representative through many generations of faith hide from the truth? Act as such greed and be so ego-driven? Surely he knows that the element of karma is being active and is being magnetized to him. He was fully aware and formally educated in all of his spiritual practices, and knew wisdom was always offered and delivered to him. But the ego will feed on what the heart ignores, if it is allowed to. The Raja or ruler of this region in India had two sons. How proud he was to be double blessed. The Raja was a very spiritual man and lived by the belief and love of the gods. He prayed and practiced, as did many ancestors before him, but he truly felt his connection. He believed in the sacred and the laws of attraction. He lived a bountiful life and expressed much gratitude through prayer and meditation on a daily basis. As it is, human life has a karmic and learned criteria, and the Raja was not exempt from this. He had two sons from a young age. The younger one seemed to be much like his father, gentle, grateful, spiritual, and with presence. The older son showed signs of impatience and frustration, needing more time to connect to reasons and lessons as they presented. He had no ability to draw on his inner vision or gain clarity from it. He was always needed assistance from his father to understand things and would often argue with him, especially about the issues that affected him personally, his plans, his scope for future endeavors. Raja attempted to make his son understand that what was presenting was always a sign to pay attention to, acknowledge and learn what it is that you've been warned about or being told. Initially, his responses would be defensive and fury. But through his love for his father and concerns over his position in the family, he'd eventually calm and listen. The younger brother had none of these attributes. From a young age, he was a natural healer, connecting with nature, particularly the elephants. He was calm and clearly an old soul. Raja had many times noted how evolved his younger son was and gave thanks for having him journey this life with him. Raja knew his senior years would require him to step down from his duties and hand over the position and responsibility to a younger heir who would have the physical energy and vitality for the role. It was not something that was selected lightly and without immense consideration. It also was not selected in age, order, rather, the one that would be destined for the role. The elder son knew Raja was thinking of the younger brother to fulfill the leadership. He knew that for every time his brother displayed that solid, wise and peaceful demeanor, he was getting closer to that golden chair. One day, through his typical spontaneous, unprovoked anger and frustration, the older brother decided that he would stop his younger brother, the heir to my throne. He would ensure that his younger brother was no longer a contender and would too physically weak and without enough mental strength to own such a position. As usual, he acted impulsively. He went in search for him. As he did so, looked out the window. He saw the great grey elephants in the resting area, and also he spotted his younger brother once again connecting with the animals. They were enjoying each other's company. The elephants truly showing affection to him. Well, he thought. You can't hardly be a ruler, guide, and spiritual teacher with a broken back. Let's see who's got the strength, the wisdom, the health to take father's place. He took a rifle from his closet and swiftly moved through the corridors as not to be seen. He positioned himself behind one of the pillars and took another look at his younger brother. He appeared to be meditating in amongst the herd. The herd was restful, bellies full, and was extremely peaceful. He took aim at the metal water trough and then hesitated. No, the water will leak, and sacred is our water. He then fired 3 shots into the air. Crack, bang, bang. With a second, the peaceful gathering was in a panic stampede. Alarmed and flying up on their hind legs, the elephants were and running into each other. The young brother could not be seen within the dust of all that movement. The older brother was frozen in his spot, staring, looking, and searching through the mass of grey, brown flesh. Then, suddenly he could see a small figure laying on the dirt. With no movement, it was lifeless. The elephants had gathered their composure, but were obvious in their tension and distress. One elephant began nudging the lifeless figure. The older brother hurried outside. Oh no, hey, I didn't mean for him to die. Just to be stopped, that's all. But the boy was dead, trampled by the peaceful giants who had been made so afraid. The father mourned a great deal and eventually became ill. He did hold his older son accountable for the young one's death and never gave him the position to take his throne, not forgive him for such a callous act, self-centered act. Many of the elephants became sick or died as well as they mourned. The elephants displayed a strong dislike to the older brother from that day forward. The Raja gave the leadership position, his wealth, and respect to his nephew. The nephew was very close to his youngest son and was extremely similar to his personality and energy. The elephants wore a special headdress in memory of the young son. Healing has taken place. God bless. Thank you, everyone, once again for listening to another beautiful story. Below in the description are all links to my services and products. Till our next story. God bless.